Hello, this is the last forum for our class, and we have been asked to um, state what obligations we as counselors have to other mental health professionals. Well, after reading our text, I found very interesting points, and to be exact, I found about 7 or 8 that I feel are key and that we should definitely uphold as far as obligations are concerned. And the very first one I'll say is we are obligated as counselors to perform and to make sure that all employers who are in our profession are doing their job and doing it to an extent that it is adequate. And if we do that and we're, so to speak, looking out for each other in that aspect, um, that includes that we are consulting with other experts. That means that we are making sure that when we do consult and confide with other colleagues and supervisors, that it is the things that are done or discussed are kept confidential. Uh, Another thing that will be the third thing that we are obligated to do as mental health as counselors who are often involved with mental health professionals in professional settings, we are responsible, if we are supervisors or hiring counselors ourselves, to hire professionals that are, adequate in the profession and that they are individuals who are qualified and competent to hold positions as counselors. Number 4, I feel like the book makes a good mention when it says that employees want their supervisors to be clear in communicating expectations and directives. Well, we as counselors are obligated to communicate effectively with our fellow professionals. We want to make sure that there's nothing that's left unclear, there's no ambiguity, and if there is or perceived to be, we should also encourage others to ask questions and to get clarity before moving on, especially in the case of dealing or trying to help a client in a circumstance or crisis. Number 5 of the things that I feel we as counselors are obligated to do is to make sure that if we are ever to serve as supervisors, or not even just as supervisors, but as counseling professionals, we want to be fair and just when dealing with clients and with other professionals, especially with professionals, because I'm talking about how we are obligated to one another to do certain things, because you don't want to feel like you can't say anything when you know that it's not right, or you want to make sure that if something's done wrongly towards you, that someone else will speak up on it. And so that goes along with being fair and just. So we want to make sure that we don't commit or condone anything that will make practices inhumane or illegal or unjustifiable as far as hiring or continuing to practice in the profession. Now, a couple more things, and like I said, I'm just naming about 6, 7, 8 of them, but a couple more things that I feel that we as counselors are obligated to other mental health professionals. I'm sure there may be more, but for me, I'm just going to list these few. And the number 6 thing is we are responsible for collaborating and working with others in the profession. I know, for example, in the schools, there are often times where there's one counselor, and it may be hard to do that. It may be hard to communicate, and well, not necessarily hard to communicate, but it might be a challenge because you're the only counselor serving at that facility. So that means that we, as counselors, if we're in a setting as such, we need to be confident and take initiative to reach out to others in the community for that support that we need, and sometimes for supervision or just for consultation to make sure that we're doing what we need to do and what's best for the client. We are also obligated to maintain and positive and relationships that are going to be developing throughout the course of our profession with other mental health professionals. And This includes being knowledgeable about methods for counseling. This includes knowing about different theories and different approaches and tactics. We are responsible and we're obligated to that as professionals. Say, for instance, if I'm going to teach a course or supervise someone else, I certainly don't want to do that not having the knowledge, skills, or skills that I need to do it. So we are obligated to each other to know that much so that we can be supportive to each other when the time comes. And number 7, last but certainly not least, we want to make sure that as counselors, we are obligated to be aware, just to simply be aware of opinions that are out there regarding other professionals, including specifically mental health professionals. Because a lot of times, if we're from a smaller community or we work in a small department, we may be used to just doing things the way that department does it, and simply stating, you are serving yourself at a disadvantage if you do that, because you want to make sure that you are diverse in the things that you know and the resources that you have, because you never know who's going to walk through your door as a client, and you want to be able to help them as their concern becomes yours, in a sense that you're trying to help them to overcome whatever it is they're struggling with. So those things are the key things that I think we as counselors are obligated to in terms of working with other mental health professionals. I would just like to add that this class and this text is one that I will be keeping forever and ever because it has been so helpful and helped clarify a lot for me as far as the topics discussed, and especially from the student aspect. And it's a great text, and thank you, Dr. Glass, for choosing this particular one for this course. I've enjoyed it, and thank you all, and again in advance for your feedback. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you all in future classes. Thank you. Have a great day.